You're live.
Awesome.
All right, guys. I think we're here. We'll get situated. We'll edit. Maybe we'll edit. But hey, guys, I'm doing a back-to-back with my brother here, Humberto. He's a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu practitioner, and he also happens to be a combat veteran. He was in the Marine Corps. So I invited Humberto today to basically talk about his experiences, and of course why we want to get more veterans, and not just veterans but everybody, into doing jiu-jitsu. Humberto, welcome.
Thank you.
So brother, so just like I said, we talked about this offline. Let's tell me your story. Tell me where it all started.
All right. Well, my name is Humberto Portillo, as you said. Everybody calls me Bert. On their Instagram, you can find me at Humberto Jiu-Jitsu. Joined the Marines in 2001. I had a plan before, the 2001 September 11 stuff. It was already predetermined. So I joined, went to boot camp, then did my first deployment in 2004 to Iraq. Did that, and
yeah, but where are you from, man?
That's a good. I guess that's a good. I'm originally from Hollywood, California. My parents are from Guatemala. Guatemala, so got some Guatemalan in me.
Oh, so you went to Pendleton, right?
No, surprisingly, no. Here's just a funny story about that. I had an aunt that lived in Lumberton, North Carolina, and I wanted to go. I didn't want to be called a Hollywood Marine, so
yeah, I heard.
So definitely, that. I went to Paris Island. So I went to North Carolina, and that's the reason why I went to live with her, so I could get recruited out there and go to Paris Island. So did the Paris Island, did the boot camp thing, did the School of Infantry thing. And got assigned to a small craft company, which is part of Headquarter Battalion in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Okay. That was pretty fun. Then, did some training, did one non-combat deployment in 2003. It was to Honduras, attached to Air Force in Soto Cano in Honduras. That was pretty fun. That was literally 8 months of just fucking off. It was awesome.
Yeah, training the forces, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I trained with Hondurans, Guatemalans, Salvadorians. That was all like pretty awesome. Yeah. Did that, came back, and then of course, by that time I actually got real and said, hey, being an infantry unit, you know how it is. Come back for like 2 months. It's like, hey, get your shit. We're going overseas. So I'm like, cool. Let's go to the sandbox. So we went there. First, I was at we went up to Kuwait, and I forget the name of Ramadi's in Iraq. I can't remember it's in Kuwait.
Okay. I just remember it being real hot.
Yes.
It was real like hell.
Dude, it is like literally like when we got off the plane, when we landed there, just oven, like you open a big old oven. Ridiculous, man. Mm-hmm. So then, did that, got situated, headed for a convoy towards, we went to head to TQ, which is right next to Lake Havania. We went there, we had 2 detachments of small craft, we were a boat unit, riverine ops. It's the first time we had riverine, ops deployed since Vietnam, so that was pretty cool being part of that. So we got split up. One went up north. They went up to Haditha Dam. That was we went down south to TQ, which is Lake Havania. Mm-hmm. Ours was just to secure the riverbanks and everything. There was a lot of power plants around there, so that's basically what our mission was, to protect that.
But listen, before you get into all this, so why did you join the Marine Corps?
I joined the Marines, for short. I lived in a rough gang neighborhood, and one of the main things was to break that trend. There was a lot of Hispanics, Latinos that fall into that,
unfortunately,
you live in that neighborhood, you get asked every day, hey, when are you gonna join the gang, and then, when you grow up in that neighborhood, you get so quote unquote, you don't know about it, but you're getting, protected because they're not fucking with you. They're like, dude, but then after that, you not realize, so when you start getting 15, 16 years old, you're not realizing that, hey, we weren't fucking with when you gonna get in the neighborhood. Then you realize, like, oh, they weren't messing with you because you're like, oh, they had plans for you that you didn't know to join that gang. So, and then after that, it was like, I was like, nah. So that was one of the main things, my mom always told me, is like, you got to get out. And you go, it's just, let's do that. So, one plan was to join from there. But as I talked to recruiters to try to get into it, I always, that's where I found out, like, you Hollywood Marines, and especially if you go in the fleet, you get fucked with a lot, especially if you went to Diego.
No, I'll give you credit for going to Parris Island. Parris Island is much better from what I've heard.
Well, I don't know. All of my fellow Marines that went to San Diego, man, I heard that fucking that hill is a bitch. So I decided to get that. I'd rather deal with Japanese. They go up hike a big old fucking mountain.
I'm a proud Southerner, so
there you go.
Parris Island, you know.
So I'm a city boy, but I do like the country though.
Okay.
South Georgia has been really good for me, so that's good.
Oh, hell yeah.
So we definitely so that's one of the reasons why I joined. My aunt lived in Lumberton, North Carolina. Moved over there so I can get recruited out of there. Sure enough, got recruited and headed out there and then started that Marine Corps journey. We did that, of course, then going back to Iraq, you know, got into, you know, the first couple months were very boring because we were riverine ops. I don't even think our government knew why the reason why we were out there. It's just like I said, we had boats out there. A lot of times we just ran our boats, did a lot of, you know, range time. That's the beauty about it. We got to, you know, burn off a lot of rounds. We got Gatling guns, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, they were the fucking shit. Just flying ammo that's not yours, but you have almost unlimited. Dude, it was awesome.
You could shoot all day and you'd still have plenty of
literally, dude,
that's the morning thing.
Like, even when we had our mission was just to protect the dam or protect the lake at TQ. It was just literally that. You know, you shoot, you know, go chow, shoot, come back.
It's pretty ridiculous when you go to war, the accessibility they have, like, rounds. It's like you get tired of it. Like, you have so much.
It's like unlimited, like it's unlimited. It's just insane. So we did that. Well, this was around, you know, February, March of it. Fast forward a couple months all the way down to October of, you know, 2004. And we had a mission to protect this power plant, which is in Scandaria.
Scandaria, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's a power plant down there. It was very active. It powered a lot of the local towns there. That was a target. Insurgents wanted to attack it so they could knock that power out.
Didn't they have that big mosque that got blown up?
So around there. Actually, a funny story about that. When we got in a firefight near there, we actually had to hold down and take fire for a while because it took, like, you know how fast the government is. So it took like 8 hours to get approved to shoot back, you know, because, you know, of course, rules of engagement there, any kind of, like, you know, religious symbol, like we could hospitals and stuff also we couldn't shoot into. So a lot of times we just had to suck it up and take fire and just wait until we got approved. All right, cool. You know, that's enough. Let's go shoot it. So, especially when it comes to mosques, you know, dude, it's like, dude, and insurgents do that. So a lot of them would hide around there, and you know, the monumental structures and stuff like that. So they would, you know, hold out on it. So, you know, the way I got my Purple Heart is, or the situation where I got my Purple Heart was, you know, this kind of area, we went out, you know, we had firefights here and there. It was, you know, pretty intense. It was a hot zone. Everybody wanted to get into that, to that power plant. It was just, they had to knock it down. I mean, it was a legit 4 big, huge stacks. It was a power plant running operationals. You know, you had legit employees there, you know, white coat engineers running the plant. So it was a working power plant. So we were there, you know, luckily, you know, God was looking out for me. Another firefighter didn't get shot. A lot of other people surrounding units took casualties. Well, we got back, you know, the way it was when we were there in this power plant is we had 12 hours in patrolling and then 12 hours of QRF. So we really didn't have to take off. So every time we were back in the wire, we started, like, you know, the only thing we were allowed to take off was our flat and, you know, relax your feet, you know, boots. And then, of course, if you're in infantry or, you know, and everything, you know, when you take off your boots, especially if you've been on them, you know, make sure you lay down in the rack, elevate your feet. Trying to take off your shit while you're sitting down and putting your boots while you're sitting down, your feet swell and just fucking hard to put your boots
your
back
feet
on.
are very, very important. Always got to take care of your feet.
Right. If you're a grunt, you know what we're talking about. That just, your feet are your everything. But so it was that. So finally, you know, more units came. We had reinforcements, so we were able to retime cycles. So now we had a 12-hour window of downtime, which was take off all your shit, take your, you know, little man-made baths and everything. So it's fine. So, you know, you still had to wear your flak and your Kevlar and then your rifle and your hygiene bag. So I was on my way to take a shower, you know, went to shit, shower and shave, came back, you know, and then fucking hear some thumps. Just, you know what I'm talking about.
Was it 82s? Or
I think they were 82s because the one that mortar round that landed was not next to me. Thank God. If not, I think it would have done more damage. But I remember when we assessed after I get to it right here, after the thing is the round landed pretty far where I was at, but it was close enough to throw me. So we heard the thumps, of course, and I was like, fuck, you know, right when I think, is that what I think it is? As soon as I finished having that thought, you know, someone shot it incoming, and then you had the mortar round sound, the horns going off.
Yeah.
Of course, we had concrete barriers all throughout that fog.
Yeah.
So we're running to it, and man, I try to run, and then right when I'm about to get to there, there's a national there. I guess he's scared frozen to get there.
Yeah.
He literally stops and pauses right in front of it.
Wait,
so,
just fucking like checked out.
Yeah, he was like fucking scared, which is great. He wasn't he wasn't combative, so so to speak. So understood. So I literally grabbed him and pushed him in. Right when I pushed him in, that's when that mortar round landed, and boom, landed me up. Went inside. They checked me out. I was like, dude, I'm fine. They're like, dude, no, take off your clap. Of course, the corpsman was there along with my other fellow Marines. He took out my flak, dude, that's going that. So of course, I got some shrapnel in the back of my knees, my back, and everything. Saw my cavity's bloody, so I could take it off. Of course, like everybody's in panic mode. We don't, what the fuck, because like I said, it's one thing if you get shot. Like I said, I'm not gonna say I don't know what it's like to get shot, but I can imagine one getting shot. But when you find out someone possibly got blown out, you want to check your limbs. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, man.
So that's what they were worried about. That's what I was worried about. A little shock went in there, and then of course I got rushed into the corpsman station. They were pretty good. The foreign national one that I pushed out, he was all right. He was in there. I think he was just more shocked and everything. Yeah. He wasn't. So after that, it was just you go back and literally the cycle repeated. I mean, you go back, you're good. Of course, you either tell the truth or you lie. A lot of Marines unfortunately lie and go back in combat and get themselves get more fucked up, which hey, being hard charger.
Well, whatever. Were you took enough shrapnel to where you were like fucked up, or could you fucking continue?
I could have continued and everything. All the wounds down, I guess. So just if you want to say now, they're catching up now. Just being older. But during there, I guess being young, just adrenaline and everything.
Suck it up.
Suck it up. The fact that we still had another 2 months to be on, in theater. Didn't want to leave with them. I was like, dude,
you want to be with your guys, right?
I mean, that's all.
Be with your guys. Come on.
That's all the family we have. You know what I'm saying? So so if you really want to talk about it, it's like wash, repeat, cycle again. Same thing. So of course, 2006 comes around, time to EAS or re-enlist. I'm not fit for infantry anymore. It's pick that, medically retired, or try to see what the other options are. Which the other option is nicely telling you fuck off. You can't re-enlist. Being a little fat body too, and everything just gets depression started getting to me. Didn't know what it was. So.
Yeah, but what did you take? You take a bunch of shrapnel to your back?
It was a lower back, left shoulder, and the back of the knees. But what was worse was, thank God I had like minimal scarring, but what it was is a lot of internal thing. What corpsman explained to me a lot of times was through life, they said that you were going to express, I guess your organs and everything compress. So through time, they'll decompress. And a lot of times I get like a lot of kidney aches and stuff like that. I get a lot of stomach aches, a lot of back pain and stuff like that. Back pain is, of course, is always there. That's always the worst. And then the back of my knees and my elbows will just get numb.
It's the concussion, man. That's what gets you, man. It's that concussion that got you.
Well, it's kind of like what he used to say, back in World War II, when he used to get it real bad, was like shell shock. It was like when you were shell shocked, but like, very, very minimal of that. Because that actual shell shock, I've seen some poor victims of shell shock, and that's, horrendous. And I'm glad, of course, I Googled everything. That's when Google was, it's like right around. This is like 2006, or semi-big. You look up and you start looking at symptoms like, oh fuck, and then you look at they always show you the bad symptoms, the worst symptoms. So like, shit, am I gonna get this? And luckily I wasn't to that, but a lot of it, prevents me from sleeping a lot, comfortably. I try not to get addicted to pills because that's, of course, you go to the VA.
Yeah.
Veterans go up there. You go to the VA.
That's the first thing man. And I was like,
here and get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, my buddies told me not to take that stuff. He said they tried it and it fucks them all up. So
dude, you get addicted, and so the big day came, got out. I knew if I stayed home, I was going to mope around, which a little bit did happen. So the first job I got right out the gate, going back to Cartersville, Georgia, was IHOP. IHOP was just opening up. I just wanted to do something because I knew if I stayed, home was just going to be bad. But even with the job, I still did, I ended up gaining weight. I ended up, I'm still in the process of losing weight thanks to that. But and I get to it, what I have to thank for that got me to lose weight and everything was. But I got to 350, moped around, drinking 30 packs of beer a day, fucking saying, just you know, about to give up on life and just say, fuck this, you know, and everything. And, you know, I really thought, and I was one of those mopes, you know, I know there's some people out there that probably make fun of me, but I thought, I was like, dude, if I couldn't be in the Marines anymore, I was like, fuck life. You know, I was like, dude, I don't know what. But, you know, on the other side of the spectrum, I didn't have the balls to kill myself per se, you know, but they were close. Many nights that they were close. So, you know, and the funny thing is, years went by years, you know, I have 2 daughters and everything. This is 2006, coming 2018. In 2016-ish, my daughter started doing, you know, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so for 2 solid years, I watched them. They were happy. They were, you know, it was fun. I'll sit there. I met a lot of people at Jiu Jitsu, and they were always like, man, join. I was like, man, I always wanted to, but then I was like, you know, like, I don't know if I was scared or whatever, but I just didn't know. But come to 2018, you know, I finally, you know, took that leap of faith and got to signed up. I did my first class, and then, man, dude, I was hooked.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, you know, some people go once or 3 times a day. I know there's a lot of people, dude. I was going 7 days a week, sometimes morning and afternoon. It was that addicting.
It's a beautiful thing, man. Jiu-Jitsu is just, it's just beautiful.
It's just a problem solver, and you know, and right before I get to my jiu-jitsu journey, let me tell you how that was kind of like the last resort. Because I mean, I think you know, before I would have joined Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, not saying I would have, you know, we could always what if anything. I'm glad we don't, but you know, I think the outcome would have been different. Where you know, probably, you know, I probably would have been, unfortunately, one of the victims of Mission 22. You know, I probably would have been one of the 22 veterans of killing himself. I feel like, you know, like I said, I ballooned up to 350. You know, I mean, I had a wife and kids. My wife has been supportive. You know, like I said, she met me when I was skinny-ish. Mm-hmm. You know, and then after that, you know, she's been with me when I ballooned up. Never changed it. Never, you know, made fun of my weight. Nothing. Mm-hmm. When I said, hey, I need a case of beer, you know, she was also at the grocery store and got, you know, a 30-pack of beer, you know, so.
But you got 100% disability, right?
Yeah, that disability, unfortunately, you know, wasn't easy. You think, you know, people that have legitimate, like, you know, wounds and everything, which is a lot of my veterans out there, and, you know, I know they feel me. You go to the VA, a lot of times you just feel helpless because it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, I even had, like, on my D214, it says I have Purple Hearts, and, you know, still the same process is that you just go in line, you know what I'm saying? And so trying to get, you know, you try to get your benefits, you try to, you know, wonder what, you know, like, what can you do different? You know, you don't want to lie, but, you know, sometimes, you know, with the VA, it's just, it almost seems like it doesn't matter how extreme or how minute, you get treated the same. It's just, the VA is just, unfortunately, when you get out, whether it's, you know, honorably discharged or medically discharged, you know, it's all the same result. It doesn't matter. It just feels like, you know, you did your time and you got hurt, you get out, you're not getting taken care of. It's just like, hey, Uncle Sam needed you here. And then, you know, it's cool. And man, it's awesome. You know, we support our troops. You come back. Now, granted, I'm not saying that there's a lot of organizations out there that are amazing and just, you know, that really do look out for veterans. But here's the thing. It's a lot of people volunteers, and those guys are very appreciated. But it's just our government that just, they're the ones that should be doing all this. A lot of these organizations, like, you know, We Defy, you know, Military BJJ, and, you know, Mission 22 and all, those are all, like, organized by civilians that, you know, that truly care about veterans. But, you know, that's all fine. Like, they'll have my forever gratitude because I've always been helped by a bunch of those organizations. But the thing is, you know, when you think about it, like, who has unlimited funding, so to speak, you know, to throw money around, is the government. But
so the government, so, you know, just to reiterate what Humberto said, you guys are fucked up. You guys are not taking care of our guys, okay? Our guys that bled over there. So take care of our veterans, please. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I mean, it's just, you know, it is. You go to the VA and you try to get the help, and it's not. So, and if you know, a lot of veterans will tell you, you know, if you go to the VA, you know, how many times like, here, take your fucking sack of Xanax, Percocets, or whatever, and numb the pain. You know, that's all we can do for right now. You know, so, you know, I got my prescription drugs, and, you know, took it once, I ain't gonna lie, feel good, but then, you know, it's like you just, it's a level of sedation where, you know, it's like, man, I don't want to be high all the time, you know. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that went on, you know, kicked the can for a while, and just fucking, you know, just moped and fucking, you know, be depressed, you know, and everything. Mm-hmm. So I figured, like, you know, might as well do something about it. And I never thought, like, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu was going to be that outlet, you know what I'm saying? Because when I joined Jiu Jitsu, you met some of the most awesome people, I mean, in Jiu Jitsu. I mean, you're talking about people that are just, you know, for lack of better words, are dangerous, but yet they're the friendliest and more humblest people ever. And, you know, for anybody that just the reason I say jiu-jitsu saved my life is just, you know, when I went there, I lost over 100 pounds, you know, in a year. And not just that, like you can be mad, depressed, sad, you know, everything, you know, it doesn't matter. You can have a shitty day. You go to that mat, you know, you go in there and you just never know, like what you call your humble pie. You just get your ass kicked up and down that mat, and then you come back smiling. Like, I don't know any other sport that you can go out there and get, you know, just come back and feel great because you just had your ass handed to you. And it's just the mat, just, it's good for your mind, body, and soul. And the reason I say that is just, it's like chess. You know, you can't go to the mat and thinking like, you know, shit, you know, fuck, you know, I don't got time to be sad, you know, or did I leave the stove on, you know, or some bullshit like that, or I forgot to fucking turn off the lights. Because anytime you're not thinking about jiu-jitsu, you know, you're gonna get your ass handed to you. And that's what I like about jiu-jitsu. So you gotta concentrate and just focus the task at hand, and that's what makes jiu-jitsu amazing. You know,
and that's why I think that, man, you said it just like Brent said. Humility, guys. Humility goes such a long way. I know that in the Army, I'm sure in the Marine Corps too, you see a lot of that. You get put in your place all the time, so it doesn't. Man, it just makes you grow. By, you know, that tough love, man. Yeah. There's nothing like tough love and somebody to put you in your place, to make you feel like, yeah, listen, I'm not that important, you know? So I think that's why I think a lot of veterans transition so well too into jiu-jitsu, because that humility, I think it's always there, right? And a lot of people think that, you know, there's a bunch of whatever you may think about, whatever, MMA or jiu-jitsu, it's a lot of nerds, man. Jiu-jitsu is a lot of nerds. It's like a lot of, you know, you have Lloyd. I mean, you tell us about what the kind of people they meet in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I met an orthodontist surgeon. You know, I met a lot of nerds, computer nerds.
Yeah.
Like, I won't say his name, but he knows what I'm talking about. He's a big IT guy, you know, computer guy, will murder you in the mats.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with surgeons. Like, I mean, you got surgeons and doctors that can repair you, rip your shit apart, and just like, hey, no problem, I can put it back together for you.
Yeah.
You got those people, like you said, nerds, mechanics, students, across the board is everything. And you talking about, like, you know, before you get it, you slap, bump, and roll. You know, they're nice, smile before, during the match, they look like they want to kill you. Then after, nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
But it's just the diversity. It's amazing. It don't matter what kind of education you get. Doesn't matter what your financial status is. Doesn't matter of any kind of orientation, whether sexual, religious, whatever. It doesn't matter, man. When you get in that match, that's the epitome of being unbiased. And that's the God's honest truth. If you ever want to be, you know, somewhere where it doesn't matter, because I mean, you see, you know, not to get into politics and everything, but you know how many liberals, conservatives, you know, we got them, but we don't talk about it. But we know, hey, this person loves guns, this person doesn't love guns, but we don't talk about it. And it doesn't matter. But dude, there's some of the greatest friends out there. You know what I'm saying? You know, we'll get a little debates here during lunch and everything, but dude, after that, dude, think about it. You go back, you still be able to choke some people out. Dude, nothing's ever personal. And I've literally got into, like, you know, arguments with people, but when we go in the match, it's completely, like, you know, professional. Never like, I'm gonna take this out on you. Nah, it's just, dude, reach out, man. Just, you know, we just look into jiu-jitsu. It really helps your depression. Like, I can't even put into words. I know I could just spill a bunch of stuff, but I just, like, it's just phenomenal. It's just that much magic. It's just, you know, it helps depression, anxiety. It just, you know, it helps it all across the board. And like I said, I can't find words for it. It's just, that's how, it's just, dude, it helps out, man.
So, and what we were talking about earlier with Humberto before the show started was about, you know, we see on television you know, the Navy SEALs and the Green Berets, but these wars that we've been fighting over 15 years, it's just the regular guys, man. It's the regular grunts out there that are getting after it all the time, that are going on patrols, that are doing dismounted patrols, combat patrols, BDAs. I mean, you name it. It's not some, and not to take any credit away from those guys. Those guys are amazing, but this is it, man. This is it. It's like regular guys like Humberto and myself that I mean, I guess truly understand what war is and what it entails. And, you know, when these guys come back, they're messed up because they don't fit in anymore. I feel like I don't fit in. I miss the camaraderie, man. Don't you miss the camaraderie?
Yeah, that's a good thing you said. Another thing, the camaraderie with jiu-jitsu too is amazing. Like, it ain't just military, but you get to share stuff. If a lot of people know me, I'm a big Batman fan. I met a lot of people at Batman. We talk about that, but yes, the camaraderie is there. And then just to add to what he was talking about, like I wasn't a sniper. I wasn't in Force Recon. I wasn't a SEAL, and no special forces. I was a regular old 311, knuckle dragger grunt. I was in a boat unit, machine gunner as well, cover of a magazine. Just like it's TAC Hero of the Year. It was all, like I said, regular missions and stuff like that. I didn't do no covert ops, no black ops or nothing of that, dude. And I would go back and do it again. Like he was saying, it's like, I know Hollywood puts a big emphasis of, Navy SEALs, Rangers, Special Forces, Marine Force Recon. Dude, those guys are tough. I mean, hands down, not to take away from them, but a lot of them do get their intels from us. I mean, just we're the grunts. We're out there, we're knuckle dragging. We're taking it as much as it is. Yes, you got your SEAL team that went to go get your, Osama. Those guys are fucking hard charger, badass, stuff. But, a lot of veterans just feel left out just for the simple fact that, it took a lot of intel to get in, a lot of intel, a lot of regular grunts to get into firefights, and, intel teams coming in after that and getting that intel. You infiltrate a house, you get in a firefight, whether you wound or kill whoever's in there. After that, your intel comes in, they find a lot of pieces of intels under beds and everything, and then that gets moved on, and then that's how they get closer to the thing. So, we're all in this together. A lot of times I think a lot of veterans feel left out because their stories are not told. You don't hear about the firefights in Scandaria. You don't hear the firefights in Haditha Dam. You heard Fallujah a little bit. That was a big thing. Those units out there, sacrificed a lot. But unfortunately, they hear about your snipers. You hear about your special forces, stuff like that. That's all Hollywood's interested on.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm not saying they don't make good movies, but a lot of times, I think a lot of us feel left out as far as hey, I did something too, and I'm not saying that they're moping around, but I just think a lot of times that's how veterans, I think, fall into field deep depressions and stuff like that, because they come back home, they feel out of place, and then they don't understand what they did, because a lot of times, they don't understand why either people are happy for them or people are mad at them, because they're like, oh, did you know? There's a lot of people out there that do get asked, hey, were you part of that? Osama bin Laden.
I find out a lot of times that people are lying about what they did, if they did anything at all. So then civilians get the wrong perception because they think this guy's a sniper. He wasn't even in the military, so he's like lying to you. And then you talk to that guy, and he's lying to you. It's like, dude, you didn't do the job. So I think, man, there's this world. It's just so
it's just so fluctuating, because a lot of times, now, like, when there's a legitimate guy say that he was in the Rangers, you start questioning him, because unfortunately there is a lot of stolen valor.
A lot. Dude, and Georgia's the #1 for Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, it's the thing, dude. Like, it took me to watch a YouTube video that said there's Navy SEALs have their own, like, obviously network, and they can tell who was a SEAL or not.
Yeah.
So I can't just go there wearing, SEAL tab and say I was a SEALs. I don't know if Recon or Rangers or any that have that, but unfortunately, like everybody knows when I tell them, I didn't do nothing special. I was just an infantry. I signed up what I wanted to do. I don't regret it, but there's a lot of people you meet, no matter where you do, it's like, they just have to tell you they were a sniper or a grunt or stuff like that. But I just don't see how that's feasible, because, these teams will not be special if everybody will be in them. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you, in theory, and to tell you the truth, besides the ones I served in Iraq to do missions with, I don't know outside here. I haven't met a SEAL. I haven't met a Ranger. I haven't met a Force Recon. Everything's went inside, but if you believe everybody that tells you, I've met like 100 Rangers. I've met like 100 SEAls.
Everywhere, man. They're all special.
They're all snipers. They did. It was like they went to the school, but they had enough. The platoon had enough snipers, so I just was a regular jump, and so you get a bunch of those stuff like that. But
and in the Marine Corps, so I know it's 0311 is infantry, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
It's 0300, and then you got your
0300.
Yeah. And 0311 is like, I was 0311 and 0331, which is your machine gunner, your basic rifleman.
Yeah, so I always told Humberto, and always kind of go back and forth, because I always tell him, dude, we got like a shit ton of Marines in the Army, because, you guys don't get no funding, because you're, fucking
all the borrow stuff.
Yeah, you guys get all the garbage that we don't want. But literally, yeah, that's what we're trying to do. For us, it's 11 series, 11 Alpha, 11 Bravo, 11 Charlie. So that's what we're trained to do. It's like you're trained to be cold, be wet, to rock, to have a lot of weight. They say, we're light infantry. Well, light infantry ain't so light, because everything you carry is on your back. So like I said, yeah, we're the guys doing the dirty work. You know, in the military, you have, you know, basically, right? You have cooks, refuelers. I mean, you have everything, right?
Yeah.
And then you got your grunts. Those are the guys, the combat soldiers, so or combat marines, and everything. All those jobs basically are literally attached to what? The infantry or the combat arms, right? So this interview that we're having, this is about us. This is so you guys know what we were doing, you know, because just like Humberto said, man, those guys are amazing. I've worked with Green Berets. I've worked with Rangers from the regiment, from the actual Ranger regiment. I've worked with some high-speed Marines. Actually, I got to work with some Caibil, which are Guatemalan commandos. Man, those guys are insane. Just absolute warriors. But at the end of the day, they're doing literally the same job that we're doing. Like, that's what we do. We are, I think basically it's I think our job, Humberto, is to embrace the suck. Like that should be the, you know, like the title of what we have to do. If you're hot, okay, you're hot. If you're hungry, get over it. It's gonna be okay. Drink water and take ibuprofen, right?
That's it.
Is that the mentality that you guys took in the Marine Corps?
Big time. That's all it is. That's all our corpsmen said. Drink water, suck it up.
So when we come back to this world, we're like, what's going on? Quit being a pussy, right? Just get over it. Like life is okay. I mean, what do you think?
Dude, life is cool. You know, I know it a lot from Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. You meet a lot of people. Back to the people you meet, it's like you realize, okay, life is, you know, doesn't suck that bad. You know, granted, you know, like I said, for instance, you know, I enjoyed the military, you know, to be famous. I did it to do my job, but unfortunately, you know, when you get hurt and everything for something that, you know, they wanted me to do, which, like I said, I have no regrets from, you know, just take care of us when we come back. But,
yes,
you know, with that,
yes.
But I found an alternative, a best alternative, something that I wouldn't want to train for the world, just, you know, through the people, through Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And, you know, I met some of the most, like, awesome people. You know, I met you through there, you know, met your son through there, you know. I mean, like I said, it's just awesome. I met, you know, a bunch of people, you know, veterans, you know, a lot of veterans. It was pretty cool, you know, like Brant, you know, he heads up.
Your professor.
Yeah. You know, he hits up Rolling Crown in Dallas, Georgia. If you're around Dallas, Georgia, you know, hit him up. You know, you have Professor Roberto Travin, you know, he's in Atlanta. Go hit him up. You know, you have Professor Jonathan Robinson at Carsville, you know, and I can't forget my guys who really taken care of me here in the last couple of months because, you know, this COVID stuff, because there was no gyms around.
Yeah.
A little squid squad out there. You guys know who you are, and I thank you guys because, you know, rolling in that garage has really kept me intact this last month, and I appreciate that. You know who you are, man. Thank you. And then it's just, you know, it's just the people that, you know, that are around there. It's just, you know, they're just, it's awesome. And I wish I could name all of you guys. It's just, you know, I think I could be here all day because, I mean, there's everybody that's contributing to the fact of me losing weight, me not fucking killing myself, and me, you know, just being fucking happy. And I know my wife and my kids have enjoyed it because ever since Jiu-Jitsu, I've just been that more pleasant to be around with, do shit around the house, complete like 90% of my honey-do list. So I know my wife enjoys that. But dude, it's just like I said, it's amazing. You know, it's just, I mean, like I said, I just can't find so many words for it because that's how happy it's made me. And it's just because of jiu-jitsu. I mean, literally, it's just because of jiu-jitsu. I know, you know, I don't want to take away, you know, I ask my wife and kids do make me happy, but I like that jiu-jitsu makes me a better person for them.
Yeah.
That I'm more pleasant to be around. So, you know, because my wife did it just because she loved me, you know, she supported me. And she used to, when I was like a miserable fucking mopey prick, you know, gaining weight, she never called me out on it. She never called me fat ass. You know? She literally, you know, was like, whatever, you know, let's eat, just do what you want. You know, I told her I want to lose weight. She goes, fine, what do you want to do? It was never like, because I think I told her I want to lose weight like 50,000 times. All 50,000 times she literally said, okay, what do you want to do? What do you want from me? What can I help you? And every time, you know, she said, well, I want a beer. She's like, well, I thought you want to lose weight. It's like, oh, never. It's like, all right, cool, your life, you know, just as long as, you know, whatever.
And you guys actually, you and Professor Brent, you guys got me into as far as like the stuff for level guy, Elijah Youngblood Pizarro.
He's awesome.
He did jiu-jitsu because of me, but he's taken jiu-jitsu to a totally different level. I mean, I did jiu-jitsu. I've been doing it for 20 years, but I mean, I'm just a regular old man jiu-jitsu. But actually through my son, I met Humberto and I met Brent. And they were the ones that were telling me about We Defy, and they told me their story. And so, I mean, look what Jiu-Jitsu's done to me already, because I know for a fact I have anger issues. I mean, literally, I'm wearing like a shed that I like to come to because whatever. I got my own shit. I'm sure you got your own shit too, right?
No, but you're gonna build me one now.
Yeah.
Buy something like this.
Yeah, man. So I often want to use the knife hand on people because whatever, man. I just feel like people are, becoming soft, man. I was talking to Brent about it, and he was telling me that, kids are good, but sometimes like the adults, man. What do you think sometimes about the adults that don't have that mental toughness?
Well, the funny thing is with work, it's just, I've been in my present company for 7 years. I'm an inspector for fire alarms and stuff like that. And I literally it wasn't a yes sir, man, but it's, if it sucked, I sucked, made it work and everything. But you'd be amazed how, like, in the military, you got a lot of complaints, but in the civilian world, you'd be amazed how many people like call the Department of Labor.
Yeah.
They want you working out in the rain. I was like, I go out in the rain and wear my fucking raincoat. And I was like, okay, cool, get done. But now these guys training, a lot of jobs get rescheduled. So, fortunately for me, to give me my status and how I was a super, I climbed up. It's just literally, it was, yes, it sucked. A lot of it sucked. I got to call it the yes, sir, man. It wasn't that. It was just, like you said, it embraced the suck.
Yeah.
If it was raining, I didn't give a shit. You got to raincoat for, it was hot. A lot of people don't like this hot, we inspect backflows too. You have to go inside, underground and pits and stuff like that, black widows. And I'm terrified of spiders. But dude, that's an easy fix. Go to fucking Home Depot or wherever, get a fucking bug spray.
Listen, I spent most of my career in the field. I just like, it was never a question. Even if whatever, we were shooting mortars all day. If we were getting pissed on all day, it doesn't stop. We're still hanging rounds, right? You're still in the field. So maybe you get the same thing too, because I know you guys in the Marine Corps did the same thing. It's like you get back into this world, the civilian world, and it's like, it's raining and you can't go out there. Or like, I look at people like, are you shitting me?
Well, seriously.
Serious?
Look, even now, like, my admin will call me and say, hey, it's raining. Do you want to go out there? I'm like, put it on the fucking schedule. If it needs to get done, it gets done. Especially if I have to pass by it. What I'm saying? It makes no sense. Mm-hmm. But going back to saying how you transition from civilian, not all civilians like that, because there's a lot of people like,
there's some good work.
Yeah, no, of course. Well, like everybody I train with, they're good people. It's just like I said, this is just from what I experienced from my, my employment.
Yes.
My employment. Because I'm not going to go out and say all civilians are not, because there's some civilians out there that are legit, ground down, never been to the military, but like it needs to get shit done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, a lot like where I work at, it's just, dude, it's hot and everything, and it's like, the crazy thing is we all have take-home vehicles, they're nice, they're all new, air conditioners. So, and the thing is you work at your own schedule. So if you get fucking hot, even if it's 5 minutes at a time, go in there, crank a gun, send them the AC. But no, people just rather just cancel a whole day because, the elements. And it's funny because the elements doesn't even bother me at all. It's just, it is what it is, But like I said, that's how it comes where the transitions were, like, that's why I think a lot of people resent veterans too. Like, for example, in my case, I get called a yes sir and a company man. I don't know what the fuck that means, but all I know what it means to me is, if it's a job, it's my job. At the end of the day, whatever we do, unless you get voluntold for some reason. But no, I mean, I like stuff. I got to feed my family. I got to support my family. I got a mortgage to pay, vehicles, and everything. So I look for a job. If you don't like what you like, go out there and try to get what you find. But with me, it's, dude, that's my job, and it pays the bills, so I go do it. And to the end of the day, none of that is compared to what I went through in Iraq. Shit.
And guys, so and listen, I'm not trying to bash anybody. This is not what the show's about. This show is about is understanding us too. Like, understand, for civilians to understand veterans and know why we act the way that we act. It's not like we're making something up. It's like we have references. These are the references that we have. If I'm taking mortars and I'm literally seeing the mortars impact around me, if I come home and you complain to me that your coffee is too sweet, I'm going to want to punch you in your face. That's what I'm thinking. Or if I've spent many, many nights on top of a mountain and I'm super, super, super cold, because I always tell people, you get cold, your hands are cold, you go back into wherever you need to go to get warm. So whatever over there, no, if you're cold, you're cold. And if you're wet, you're wet. You got to suck it up. So all this stuff, it toughens you. It mentally toughens you to when you come back home, back to the States, everything just seems trivial as far as like any inconvenience that I may have, I really don't have in my mind. So if I hear people talking about that, about the simple things, and you get bothered by the simple things in life, I'm like, man, you guys, I just don't get it, man.
It's just
it confuses me. It confuses me, and I try to process it in my mind, because I don't ever remember anybody telling me, I'm gonna whatever, it's gonna be okay, or it's just like, no, just get on with it. Just get on with life. Get over yourself. But so whatever. Let's kind of pivot and let's talk a little bit about your professor, Professor Brent. That's who you got your belt from, right?
I got to Professor Brent, but due to he was a brown belt at the time. So Professor Jonathan Robinson gave me a blue belt.
Okay, yeah, I know him.
Yeah, but Brent, he mentored me at the beginning of the thing. Awesome guy. Same thing. So we related a lot. Yeah, Kimsey too. Yes, Coach Kimsey too. They trained me a lot, and then it was fun. They great. Well, Brent, was him related because he was a fellow veteran, and so a lot of times when we could talk about him was just, it was awesome because it was a double whammy of awesomeness. Because once I could talk to him about jiu-jitsu and then veteran, so we both related and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But with Professor Jonathan Robinson, who who I'm training under now again, he went solely. I mean, he saw me row, but he went solely off Professor Brent too, because he could easily, he's a black belt. He could easily say, "Well, no, I gotta watch Bert row more." But no, he took words and he had confidence on me. And Professor Jonathan awarded me my blue belt. Oh, yeah. So I will be forever in his debt, because, like I said, he could easily said no, because at that time I was part of his gym, and he could have said no. Let me see him a little bit more. Yeah. But no, he went off with my professor then, Brent Hamilton said, and he took him. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys for that. But those are awesome people. And then another, there were also another set of guys out there, which I'll call them out here. So, you got Jesus, Jacob, Raymond, Streets, Dustin, Roger, you got Tim Hopper. There's, if I didn't call you out, please forgive me. I just, trying to remember off the top of my head. But those guys right there here in the last, like I said, 2 months, the Squid Squad, they've been amazing. It's been fun, and it's Lee, can't forget Lee. He's also, helped me out. He's part of the Squid Squad down there, and he does a lot of electrical work in my house. So, dude, we all help each other out. It's just humble people, man. It's just, you can relate. And like I said, if, I appreciate it for having me in this podcast, but if there's anything out there, not just, if you're not you don't have to be a veteran, but if whether you served or you didn't, but if anything, I'm 38 years old. I started when I was 36. Dude, don't give up. Being old ain't dead. 36, 38 ain't old. You'd be amazed. It hurts. You get sore and everything as you are older, but it's like the good kind of hurt. If you're there in the couch, laying down, sitting down, man, I go, get up. I go, it doesn't have to be Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, but but you'll feel a lot better if it was Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. It's just amazing. Don't give up. I mean, there's a lot of people that I know that are 40-year-olds and starting, and dude, it's amazing, man. So just being older ain't dead. Get out there and get it.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Like I said, this is the reason why I started this podcast was to really, man, this whole thing is about trying to, being a mentor to young men. So if I was a young guy and I needed a place to go to, and let's say you didn't go to the military, I'd be like, yeah, you got to start doing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, because when you go out, you do Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, man, you meet the most humble people. It's like, you know, if you go out, the last thing that you're going to be thinking about is starting a fight, man. You see these young people, I see them all the time. It's like, why are you're going out and you're starting a fight with somebody? Why is that? Where's this thing that we have? We call it aggression as a young man, and you have no outlet. Go sign up. Go to a jiu-jitsu school. Sign up today, okay? It's going to teach you a lot about life, man. Okay, about growing up, you know, about discipline, about respecting people, Why does that happen in jiu-jitsu? Because you're getting choked out all the time. You know, when you start out, you're getting choked out by smaller guys, right? Younger guys. You're like, what's going on? But that's life. That's life. That's what life is about, man. It's constantly pushing, you know, so, and not just for, you know, like I said, not just for veterans, for women. I want women to be able to defend themselves, right? For police officers, our police officers, man, you guys have this tough job that you have to do. And I'll put it again for the third time in a row on this third show. Dude, I saw a video, 3 police officers, one guy, literally, they stop him. He gets out of his car. They try to grab a hold of him. He gets away from 3 guys, goes back into his car, grabs a gun, and I need to see the video again. I think he shot 2 of them, and I think he killed 2 of them. He might have killed 1. I'm sure you guys have probably seen this video. I ask myself, how did that happen, man? That's just basic. I mean, double leg them, like basic jiu-jitsu, like a basic 2-stripe white belt would know that. And it doesn't happen because you guys need to be better trained. I'm not saying not, because there's a lot of first responders in the jiu-jitsu world.
Yes, a lot, and a lot of them join for that same reason. It's just, you know, a lot of them are not joining to you know, to go out and fight. A lot of them is just to subdue. You know, it's like, you know, like you said, it's just to neutralize the threat. You know, because you never know what people are capable of. You know, and but you know, that's just one of the rewards. You know, of jiu-jitsu is like, you know, but. The thing is, the journey to get there is just, it's humbling. Because like I said, you know, every time I lose in the mat, I don't take it as a loss per se. It's a learning curve. You know, you learn every day. You learn. If you're not stepping out that mat and not saying, hey, you know, this is what I've learned, and you just think, oh fuck, I lost, and you're smoking around because you lost, and you're doing it wrong. You know, you always have to go. It's like, that's cool. This is what I learned. This is what I'll do next time. Cool, awesome. And, you know, it is what it is. You know, but a lot of times I think that jiu-jitsu is there to just make you a better person, and it's just like I said, it's one of those where you can't put into words. It's why, because you know you're there to, you know, literally murder each other, like literally choke somebody. But it's much more than that. It just makes you humble, because it makes you respect. You don't know, like, take care of yourself if the time needs you. You know, you're not out there trying to look for fights, but if the fight comes to you, you're prepared. Mentally and physically, and that's the beauty part about it.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised at how many people. That's what I was talking to Brian yesterday, man. I'm so surprised at the people that start fights. You see all these YouTube videos, and I'm like, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Just swinging wild and just no control, no tactic, man. And you know, they're out of breath, and then you know how many a lot of them, you know, I know nobody sees after the fights and stuff in videos, but you see how like some of these guys are like dying, like even if they're the aggressor. A lot of them are just dying because they're just a lot of people don't realize how much fighting, you know, whether it's fist fighting or jiu-jitsu, like, dude, it takes a lot of stamina, it takes a lot of it's a lot of hard work to fight. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, and you meet, and then you go into just animals, man. Like and they don't, and a lot of them don't even look like, they look like regular people. It's like, this guy will literally, he will kill you. He will kill you. I mean, what I love is I love going to these tournaments because you never know. I mean, everybody's so respectful. Everybody knows it's like there's some killers in this arena. You know, like any IBJJF tournament, it's like, and some of them you would never know. It could be a book nerd, right?
You know, maybe like a lot of black belts I met.
Yeah.
Like hardcore.
So be careful out there.
Yeah.
Be careful with who you talk to and how you talk to them. Because they could literally be a killer, okay?
Yeah.
Don't you see that all the time?
All the time, especially when I go on the mat when I first met him, and then and then, you know, you meet people, you friend them on Facebook, and then you see what they're into, and a lot of them are nerds, and they're like, holy crap, this guy reads comments just like I do. Like, shit. You're like, damn.
Yeah. So it's a really cool community. No, listen, I was telling Brent, it's like, I don't even go against my son. It's just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. It's like, I almost feel like I'm wasting his time. I was like, just go over there. I'm going to just do my own man jiu-jitsu. You know what I'm saying? So, because there are levels, right?
There's very levels. You know, of course, you got your young cats, you got your adults, and then, you know, then what you call your older guys, what you call masters, you know, it's just, you know, we always go with young people too and everything, but, you know, you realize how much stamina a young cat has, you know.
Dude, I'm 47, so I don't even have any, you know, I'm not going to be a world champion. I just do it because I love it. But
same here, yeah, love it.
And you know, I'm kind of in the same boat. Well, no, you're ahead of me because I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 20 years. But I was telling Brent that when I was going, it was a couple of schools. I think Alliance Jiu-Jitsu, and at the time, I think it was a lot of money, man. I just couldn't afford it. So I did a lot of jiu-jitsu. I did a lot of jiu-jitsu in the Army, and then once I hooked up with you guys and talked to Elijah, you know, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for about 8 months, and I just got my blue belt. So, yeah, man, I truly just try to stick with like white belts or blue belts. I get hurt more. I mean, do you have a lot of injuries right now?
It's, like I said, it's not that good hurt though. I mean, yes, I do go with injuries. The recovery time is so, but dude, it's like one of those things where just you think about it, but it's like the good kind of hurt, you know, like before going into jiu-jitsu, it was just depression, anxiety, anger, and all that, and that hurt more for some reason. And that wasn't physical. Well, I guess it was physical because it was inside, but this is more like body aches. They hurt, you know, your ankles, wrists, or whatever. But it's like good kind. Like I like that hurt. It suppresses the depression, anxiety, and, you know, the anger and all that stuff. But it's just it's awesome. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. If you're like I said, if you're a veteran out there and you're sitting around, and I've been there. Just moping, just, you know, thinking life is just not worth living for, man. If anything, just go look at jiu-jitsu videos. You know, get a little reference and walk to a Brazilian jiu-jitsu gym. You'd be amazed how welcoming a lot of these gyms are. I haven't been, like, I travel for work too. I go to jiu-jitsu. You know, I bring my gi. I travel, and you'd be amazed how many of these guys are just walk right off the gate, welcoming you off the board. They don't care if you're from another gym or nothing, or you're just coming off the street, just like my gym when I originally came was Coffee BJJ. Dude, humbling people. You know, the first person I run into was Dustin Shelton. You know, he was very awesome. You know, he always wanted me to join. When I joined, and just very humble. You know, if you want that out, you know, you don't want to take any medication. You just want the pain to stop. The pain's always going to be there. Unfortunately, this is what we got as PTSD. It is what it is. It's ingrained in us, guys. As veterans, we're always it's engraved in us. I mean, I don't think it'll ever go away. But I think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu literally suppresses it to the point where you get enough peace where you forget a lot about it. I mean, I'm talking about like a lot. It's real, like, gratifying. It's because you get during the mats, you get to meet people, and then after that, you got your body aches, which, like I said, that's a good kind of hurt because you're so worried about icing your shoulder, icing your elbow, whatever, where you just worried about that. You don't got time to be depressed. You don't got time to be anxiety. Granted, it's still there. Like I said, it's there, but you don't worry about it. You know, so it takes that worry factor out of it. It's just like, fuck it. I have it. Oh, well. You know, I know you still have your spells. I still have my spells. I still have my anger issues and all stuff like that. But Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu literally suppress that more than any, like, medication that's out there, like, for veterans. Especially if you go to the VA. I know a bunch of you guys gone to the VA and just like I said, they just want to shove drugs down your throat.
Now you guys are affiliated with Humberto Portillo, right?
Yes, Professor Traven. He's out of Midtown in Atlanta. Team.
All right, so Humberto, before you do that, I'm gonna let Professor Travern. I gotta take a tactical piss. You want another beer or no? Yeah. All right, so I gotta do what I gotta do. So I want you to tell everybody about Professor Humberto Travern, because obviously we, you know, like I said, we want to promote. If you guys want to go to a top school, if it says Humberto Travern or they're affiliated, you know it's a good school. You know, it's a super good guy. But I want you to talk about what you think about him. Okay. All right, I'll be back in like 2 mics. Okay, go for it. Go. Tell the world.
I was, we're familiar with Professor Roberto Travin, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. He's out of Midtown, in Atlanta, Georgia. A lot of good gyms come out of that. Like I said, you got Team Octopus, you got Rolling Panda, you got Independent Jiu-Jitsu, you got Team Mongoose. There's just all those gyms I've trained at, met some of the most amazing people. Met Professor Travin, of course, when I trained him. He has some of the most phenomenal competition training he has, especially when it comes up to when competition in Atlanta comes, and hopefully these competitions will start coming up. But he's produced some of the most awesome black belts that are out there right there. And like I said, much humble people. Just go check him out. If you're in the Atlanta area, you just got to go check him out because Professor Travin is just awesome. Look him up on YouTube. He's been to UFC. He's won some world master titles. He's won a lot of good titles, actually. Very humble guy. He's just an awesome guy. Go check him out in Atlanta. He's just, like I said, he gave my professor, Brant, who gave me a blue belt, and then Professor Jonathan Robin as well, who also, was part of that, giving my blue belt. So, that was pretty awesome. I think I went off on a little tangent, but
No, it's okay, man. I was trying to do it as fast as possible, man.
But that's good. I was just like, here, this and that. But I think some people
it's okay. It's right. Listen, it's all natural. I mean, like we're in like the man shed, we're drinking beers, we're just hanging out, we're getting comfortable. So I was telling him this is like my 5th interview, and I guess I've just gotten used to it. Maybe in the Army, man, just like training and running ranges, you're always like directing, and it's like, all right, you waterhead, go over there, and blah, 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 so on. So it's just fluid, guys. It's just fluid, guys. I wanted Humberto to talk about Professor Humberto Travin because, we all need mentors in life. And, obviously I have a son, and he trains under Travin. And, Professor Travin has mentored my son, So, my point is we all need mentors in our life, especially if we're young men, okay? If you don't have a father, if you come from a dysfunctional home, we all need that father figure, that positive influence that's going to show you and teach you how to be a man, right? We need it. I know I did. I'm sure you did. Yeah. Did you grew up with a dad?
I didn't grow up with a dad, no, unfortunately not. But being at 36 when I started jiu-jitsu, there was a lot of good father figures I could, not necessarily call them father, but they were good mentors because they were, one, they were older than me, and two, it's like a lot of stuff we could relate, our stuff. So salud.
Bam.
But it's been an awesome journey, and like I said, I wouldn't go back trading anything. Granted, had I finished off my career in the Marines, I don't know if I would have done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but I'm glad it came out the way it did. But just being part of that journey and being part of people's, like, being them sharing their journey with me, making me better. I think that's what it boils down to, being, better and worth it, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So listen, man, I kind of want to go back. I want to go back because I want to kind of go back to Iraq, which is something that I also wanted to push out, was basically I want you to really get into depth, Humberto, about like basically the relationships that you had in Iraq as far as with the Iraqi nationals and rebuilding. And because, like I said, I often see the news, and I think they're just completely disconnected to what's really going on over there. Can you like tell us a little bit about that?
From my experience, a lot of the Iraqi National, you got the Iraqi National Guard, which is their police department, and then you got their military. We trained with some, went to patrols and everything. Basically, the overall task was, try to, we trained them on their tactics and everything, and how to police, how to, military, pretty much try to take over their country, so they can take back over their country. But a lot of times it's just, I don't know how exactly, how to put it, but it's just, they were run by fear a lot. A lot of them, they sign up, they knew, the dangers of being a police or anything, but it wasn't until we got out, you didn't realize how much they were depending on us. Because a lot of times we, so to speak, we did do a lot of work for them. Like we did a lot of the work for them. For example, there's a lot of reports, a lot of stories from my fellow Marines with our unit and everything. When we got in firefights with them, a lot of times they would run and hide, and you see the Marines, the Army, they'll be pushing through towards the target, towards the threat that's shooting us. A lot of, and then, you look back, you'll see your fellow Marine on your left and right when in theory, when you look to your right, you're supposed to see an Iraqi national. On the left, that's when you see a Marine. But unfortunately, it was just, you back us, it was just U.S. forces, Marines, and that. So a lot of times it's just, I think they're so consumed in fear, for lack of better words, or going back to like what a lot of people say, it's just they're so engraved on a certain way they did things as far as maybe religion. I'm not a big religious guy, but I don't criticize religion. But a lot of them just live in fear where, as you saw when we pulled out of Iraq, we pulled out of Fallujah, how fast the insurgents took that country over.
Okay. So guys, so I'm trying to kind of paint a picture for you there. So I'm kind of giving you what he's seeing on the ground. Okay. So what we talked about earlier was the de-Baathification process that was going on in Iraq, which basically stated that anybody that was a member of the Ba'athist party in Iraq was to be fired. So this civilian, I'm sure you guys remember Mr. Paul Bremer. Yeah, that guy right there. So he got basically fired everybody. So you fired, I think, I'm going to try to get the numbers, but I think it was over 50,000 people that were fired. So it wasn't just your military. It was your military, civil affairs, nurses, you name it. So literally that's the infrastructure of a country. You just basically told those people to pound sand and you're done. Those people, like us, we have families to feed. All right, so you no longer are being paid. People that have been in, let's say, the Iraqi army for 20 years and are getting ready to retire, you don't get that either. So those people were attacking our Marines, our soldiers. When we were patrolling the cities, that's who were getting attacked, not to mention all the foreign nationals that were coming in that were saying, hey, you guys want to kill Americans? Well, hey, go to Iraq. Go get you some.
Literally what it was.
So I don't really want to get too political here, but for me, as trying to, I guess you could call me an amateur historian, it bothers me a great deal that my countrymen are getting blown up and getting killed and getting maimed. Young men of my generation are being killed because some dumbass is making all these decisions when he's told not to. So if you ask me why I have anger problems, sometimes it's because of things like that. It's because I saw the men of my generation lose their lives in places like Iraq and Afghanistan because these bureaucrats that we have are coming up with their own way of running things when they're not on the ground. Go to the man on the ground. Go to the grunt. He'll tell you what's going on. Okay, go to the people. The people will tell you what's going on. Okay, and if those people are not being protected, if you're not providing security for those people, what do you think they're going to do? What would you do? What do you think about that, Humberto? Like I said, it's like you were there. You saw it. I'm sure you saw a lot of the IEDs or the dead bodies on the streets from sectarian violence. Did you see any of that?
Yes, a lot of, especially one is, people have seen, and it goes without saying, a lot of them were from villages. They were scared to talk to us. They wanted to talk to us, but like I said, the biggest thing is out of fear. And a lot of them, even if they didn't say nothing, just the fact that they were waving at us would get killed. So the fear factor was there. The nationals, the fucked up part is a lot of these, when we were in Iraq, like we were in war with Iraq per se, and a lot of these guys that were, we were finding out they were not even from Iraq. It's just a country that they like Frank said, it's just, they saw it as a haven. It's like, hey, there's U.S. troops. A lot of people hate Americans. They're like, hey, this is our chance to go get some So they went there. So that's all their agenda was, just to kill Americans. Like I said, and I'll get political for whatever reason. They have their reasons, but a lot of times it's just, like I said, the nationals down there or the people that were coming to there, they had the fear factor on lockdown. Because like I said, people would get killed in the street just for talking to us. And then a lot of times wasn't even intel. A lot of them was literally inviting us to their house for coffee, whatever. We talk about just how life is and stuff like that. And they would get killed for that. So that's where all that stems from. It's just, like I said, that's just fear. Just they were living in fear, and then they have that on lockdown. Where we're, yeah. And and like I said, this is just not to get political, but this one, everybody was afraid of what's the name? Saddam Hussein. Dude, he probably did horrific stuff, but here's the thing: he was a necessary evil because he kept that country unlocked. Nobody wanted to attack him. It is what it is, but that's just me. It got worse, of course, when everybody, when we got rid of him. Dude, that just shows you how much fear they had of him. Granted, he wasn't messing with us. Yeah, he tried to make Kuwait and everything. I'm not saying we shouldn't have done anything. That's not my call.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when Saddam wasn't ruling, none of that shit was happening. Everything was at least contained in this country. I can't say, forget about those people, but at the same token, hey, listen, better them than us.
Yeah. So, listen, man, I feel the same way. I'm not trying to get political. I'm not going to the left. I'm not going to the right. I'm just telling you what. I want you guys to know what's going on the ground, because we were doing that in Afghanistan too. It's like, I don't know, building a B-hut, a place for the commander to live at, with simple 2x4s, right? Going to shuras to talk to the village elders to find out what they want, right? Because why? Because before we showed up, we were, the Taliban took over. You don't want to know some of the things that they were doing, that the Taliban were doing to people. Cutting people's noses off, cutting people's ears off, right? Raping women, sodomizing young children. Listen, guys, I guess I could talk about examples, but absolutely horrible things were going on over there. And in Iraq, they literally had like these rooms where people were being tortured. We found them. They found them. American forces found this stuff. And it was going on during the insurgency, Shiite and Sunni and Shia, and it just continued and it escalated and it got worse. You guys have heard it all before, but these are the things that, we were dealing with. I'm the same way. I'm not a politician. My country told me, okay, we're going to go to Afghanistan, right? Because that's where Osama bin Laden was training the Al-Qaeda, right? We went into, to Iraq. Why did we go into Iraq? Well, because there were people training that were terrorists that were training in Iraq, and Saddam was constantly threatening us. You can go back all the way to the Persian War. I was a young man, and it was the same thing. So it's like, he's defeated in Desert Storm, and then he doesn't want to follow these certain rules that he had to abide by the UN, right? And then we get attacked, right? We get attacked, and what happens? Well, he's the number one guy on the list because he's talking about wanting to kill Americans. So, like I said, I'm not trying to get political. We were sent over there to do a job. This is what we saw on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so when they make these big movies about the whoever's coming in and saving everybody, we're talking about what was really, really happening, right? This is what was really happening. These are some of the things that we were dealing with on a daily basis. And at the end of the day, man, I think we were going. I know in Afghanistan, we could not shoot 240s if we were in like a village, because the 240s shoot the 7.62 and it'll go right through the culottes, right? So we had all these restrictions.
Rules of engagement.
Yeah, we didn't just go out there and just start shooting people. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So just for you know, because you hear about people, anti-military, like literally they think that we went in there like Genghis Khan, and it's like that's ridiculous. That's not the way it works.
Just like I said, like I told you, if we were a lot of these guys know that we have rules of engagement. A lot of times they'll shoot us from hospitals and mosques because they know. And just firsthand, I'll tell you this much: when we got shot from a mosque, we literally had to wait, more than 8 hours to get approved to get shot because we still kept getting fired upon. But we couldn't. We had to take as much cover as we could have, and as long as it, wasn't a active firefight, speak means it wasn't just a bunch of hell of fire coming towards us, but we were getting pop shots from there, and and it was literally we couldn't shoot into. Same thing with hospitals, we couldn't shoot into hospitals, which for obvious reasons, but it's stuff like that where that's how the rules we had. So even then, we could still be conventional as far as you don't have like everybody that's anti-military, not to get into it too much, but people that are anti-military think that we get there and go kill, but they don't hear about stuff like that where hey, we got shot from a hospital. Guess what? We didn't. We waited for 8 hours to make sure that was the only absolute people. And a lot of times there's a lot of people and intels will try to get as much intel to make sure. Granted, the one hospital I'm talking about by that power plant was, granted, the hospital was vacant. So, but again, it took more than 10 hours to figure that out, So we're not out there, shooting and asking questions later. That's just one of the other aspects of just, that all just coincides with a bunch of veterans that can't come back and get chastised. And, that's why they sit down and, get drunk and get depressed and think of what did they actually do over there. Because they do face that, they face people telling them, oh, you went there and you're fucking, just like a lot of Vietnam vets got, they got called baby killers. We pretty much got called the same because, of course, the media will, say, yeah, this mosque got blown up, this hospital we got in a firefight with this hospital, but they won't say what happened to, in order for that firefight to continue into that hospital. We had to check, make sure, hey, are there any actual wounded? It's at a functional hospital, or the mosque. Hey, just like our church is here, is it during time of prayer? Is it during time of service? Is it empty? There's a lot of thinking that goes into that. But unfortunately, that's why a lot of veterans will sit back and get depressed because, a lot of them don't know what they did over there. And it stems from that because they think, what people see in the news is like, hey, you not necessarily come back as a war hero, but hey, you come here, service, but then instead of, like I said, I don't look for a thank you for my service. If you do, I appreciate it. If you don't, hey, that's fine too. That's not what I signed. I signed up for me. But at the same token, you got the people that go out of their way and tell you, you're a fucking baby killer and this is why. And a lot of veterans, take that to heart and they sit down and question their service. And that's why a lot of veterans end up, so to speak, resenting the government too. They hate themselves and and a lot of them actually turn on the government where, they made me do this. And, and I think a lot of it is just that broken chain between civilians and veterans. And I think that's what, we got to bridge that gap. Cause like I said, I'm not here to say civilians are nasty or nothing. No, we all joke around about it, but no, a lot of my friends that didn't join the military or some of the jiu-jitsu, again, going back to the jiu-jitsu, there's some of them that didn't join the military. We never even talked about the military, whether they respect them or not. That goes, that doesn't matter. I met them for who they are, and you met some good people. This is for you, the veteran that's just sitting down and just, you thinking life is over and just you questioning your service. Like, dude, it is what it is. The world's big. People are going to support you. People are not going to support you. But go out there and get yours. And like I said, look at something to get you out, that gets you, limited drinking. I'm not saying I still drink alcohol, as you can see, but I don't drink the 30-day anymore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But, and I'm still losing weight in my, my weight loss journey. You know what I'm saying? I've lost over 90 pounds in the last year. So, and I'm still going there. And granted, with the limited jiu-jitsu I had, and, with the Squid Squad, or the Garage Club, as some of us call us, is, that's, I haven't lost any weight, but suppressed my weight where I haven't gained any, but. Yeah,
I was actually, this morning I was bathing in a vat full of malt liquor in my bathtub, but I don't want to be judged for that. I don't want people to think less of me. That's all I have to say.
I guess is good. Yeah. But, just, go out there and get yours, man. Go out there and the world's not over. Just remember, the world is big. You're going to have people that are going to congratulate you. It comes with the territory, unfortunately, but don't let. It's just, I think a lot of fellow veterans along with coming back with PTSD and depression, when someone tells you, you're a baby killer, or they just, then what you go do over there, start questioning your service, you let that sink in more, because unfortunately there is a lot more where, granted, I still think there's an era that people do support the military, and I'm glad, because I've met a lot of Vietnam veterans. Unfortunately, they didn't get that. There was like, it was the opposite, actually. A lot of them were actually getting sped on and everything, But now it's just to the point, like, where, the support is big, but if you're like from like these towns or wherever, and then a lot, you meet those people that just say, that tell you that, you just went out there to kill people. How can you live with yourself? What are, a lot of people want to question your service as far as like, World War II, or, our country wasn't there. I was like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I always tell people, I was like, yes, the military's show for politicians, but I don't work for them. Wherever my country needs to be, where I'm going to go. And I'm just not going to question it, but, I know some people don't see it that way, but, it is what it is. I'm not here to be agreed on.
Yeah. Now listen, man, this is just for understanding.
Right, absolutely.
That's all I'm trying to do, man. I'm not trying to shit on anybody. I mean, it's the same way. I mean, dude, there's plenty of fucking just awesome people that I've met that have nothing to do with the military. I just want people to have a better understanding, because, it's not like, it's not like I go home and bawl into a little corner and start crying myself to sleep. I don't have that perspective. So at the same time, I don't want people to think that, but we definitely need to have like an outlet, and just like I said, just an understanding too, because at the same time, it's like, dude, I've run into a lot of people that they've done nothing, or as far as like they're lying about what they did. So then that's what the problem is, Humberto, is somebody starts talking, they make stories that they were doing this and that in wherever, and then they tell people that, and then people think that that's really what happened, and it's like, it's a complete lie. So, okay, so I beat my wife because I'm a combat veteran, and it's like, yeah, this guy didn't even serve. He's just a piece of shit. And then it makes my community look bad. I mean, if anything, I would say, man, I'm more sympathetic towards people because of what I went through, because of the oppression that I witnessed, overseas. But if you're going to tell me about like whatever, like I said, like fucking somebody didn't make your latte the way you wanted to, I'm going to want to fucking punch you in your face. Okay. Give me a real problem. Okay. If not, drive the fuck on. I mean, I really don't know what else to say. This is how I see life, man. And maybe I'm just screwed up in my head. I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
I think it makes sense in our heads. And like you said, unfortunately, there is the ones where like stolen battery takes stuff. And like I tell people, like, I got my Purple Heart. So, it wasn't like an exciting story. I'm out downtown, downplay it. That's a medal I wish I never got, because, it came with nightmares and all that shit. But I don't tell people I got in a hell gun battle. I wasn't like there trying to drag 50 Marines out. And it's like, no, I was literally fucking, I was taking a shower and I was coming back. It was after a firefight, but we got some downtime. I came back, we went to go take a shower, and fucking our base got mortared. That's how I got, and I try to tell people, it's like, your stories doesn't define you. It's just, don't ever make it more exciting than what it is. What I'm saying, it's the person that that's valued. Just do it like your attitude. Like, for example, don't like, I got in a firefight, good deal, that's fine. But when you say, it's like when people, because that's a misconception where people always think, I mean, you've seen like firefights. Some firefights, for quote unquote, are not that exciting. They're just like, you're fighting pop shots. A lot of times you're trying to figure out where the fucking firefight's coming from, because you're like, well, shit, where that fire come from? Because a lot of them shoot over berms, and you're like, well, shit. But and you got some people that just tell you like they were in a drag out fucking shootout, and most shootouts are not like that. A lot of times, 80% of the firefighters, you're literally fucking trying to find out where that fucking round comes from.
Yeah, no, dude, totally. Like we got lit up, man, and it wasn't like nobody was freaking out, but you're like seeing like fucking RPGs and fucking rounds bouncing off rocks. You're like, yeah, we're getting fucked up.
Yeah, and like, where is it coming from? Exactly. It's just like this nonchalant. It's like, you know where your sector of fire is, but you just like, again, like, yes, your primary job is to, either push through or let go against your target. But a lot of times you're like trying to still figure out, like, you're shooting where the fire is coming from, but a lot of times you're not seeing your enemy. You know where the rounds are coming from because you hear the dings on your Humvees and your 7 tons, or whatever. But a lot of times you just don't know where that firefight is But that's what a lot of people describe, like I think the last time any warfare like that was like Vietnam War II. Where they actually you were going through a blazing battle and stuff like that. But dude, a lot of times we're just we're urban warfare. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying there's any less. I'm just saying the battlefield has definitely evolved.
Yeah, and it's just the reality. It's like I said, it's different anymore. It's asymmetric warfare. It's building to building, and then once you're taking over that position, you're making relationships with village elders and the people that work there. It's like that's what you're providing security. You're providing protection. But what happens once you leave? I mean, the bad dudes come in and they're going to take over. What do you think those people are going to do? Right? So this is counterinsurgency, is the thinking man's war. So, like I said, it's like, listen, like Jocko Willink, all these whatever guys that are on podcasts, awesome, great. Well, this is our perspective. Just fucking regular fucking grunts doing the job that needs to be done. This is our story. I don't want people to forget about our story. I feel like I live my life trying to be the best person that I can be for all the guys that we left behind. For all the guys that didn't have a chance to live a life. It's like we owe it to them.
I agree.
For us to have a decent life. Like they didn't have a chance. So I find myself, I think sometimes I have like survivor's guilt, because it's like, fuck, I wasn't any better, but I'm here and they're gone. Some good guys, man. I always say better men than myself. I mean, you meet some of I think the awesome thing about the military, man, it's like, dude, you meet so many different like ethnicities, black, white, Asian. And at the end of the day, dude, that has fucking like nothing matters. Like, dude, he's sucking, I'm sucking, right? That's what it's all about, man. It's fucking respect. Like the fuck, he has your respect, you respect him, and he respects you. Man, there's fucking nothing like that in the world, and I don't care if you're fucking green, right? Well, what do you think about that?
Dude, I think you're absolutely right, and I mean I understand. There's nothing like that to an extent, but like I think the only one that comes real close, like real fucking close, is Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. You meet people, different backgrounds, different. It's just I think that's why a lot of veterans take to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, because the camaraderie is there. You make friends with people, dude. You're rolling with two guys, you're rolling with someone that wants to choke you out. Next thing you know, you're helping them move into a house. You're helping them move mats into a garage. It doesn't matter, it's like, hey, hey, I need some electrical work. I'm like, dude, I'm passing by your house anyway, so don't worry about charge. And, you beg them to charge them, but, they still don't take your money. But I go, that's the other aspect of like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. When people are like, no, it's just, you meet some of these cool people and like the trades. I mean, dude, if you don't know anything about electrician, don't worry, dude. There's an electrician fucking rolling somewhere out there. I promise you. There's, you need a lawyer. I promise you, there's an attorney somewhere there fucking rolling. And if he can't help you, he can turn you to the specific kind of lawyer that you need. It's a network, just like anything else. So get out there and get some. It's just, especially if you're a veteran. If you're looking for something like that, go explore Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Go explore how much that camaraderie is there and how much you think you'll miss it. And if you think that sense of humor is not there, dude, it's there. They have a lot of people have that. And if not, they'll get used to it. There's a lot of people that have that, because at the end of the day, like I said, you're out there choking each other. I mean, dude, you're literally trying to kill each other. So they can take that and be real fine with it. They can take some of your humor and be all right with it. If not, they'll get used to it. I mean, that's just the way it is.
And if you need a mentor in your life, guys, listen to me. So I'm an old man. I'm 47. When I was a young man, I'm the same way. I didn't have a father growing up. I know that you guys need some sort of a mentor, okay? And you go into, like YouTube and look into like the manosphere, and I see all these guys talking, and I'm like, yeah, they're full of shit. They don't know what they're talking about, if you're a young guy, you need some guidance. Guys, I'm telling you, join a jiu-jitsu school. Do your research. Go to a good school, and you're gonna find a mentor. You're gonna find somebody that's gonna be like, hey man, I'm gonna put you under my wing, and I'm gonna teach you some things about life. And it's gonna make you a better person, guys. It's about being a better person. We're not here for where was it? Like we're just dust. We're dust in the wind. But while we're here, let's make something out of ourselves and let's try to help each other, right? Let's be let's be decent human beings, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right. And I think with everything going on with the COVID and all this stuff going on, man, let's not forget that we're Americans, man. We're privileged to live here. Do we not see that? Maybe it's just social media, but it's just like the left and the right, the left and the right. Let's be Americans, guys. We live in the greatest country in the world. And I wasn't even born here. Why did you enlist? Was it right after 9/11, right?
It was it was around that time, but since I was a little kid, I did want to be a Marine.
You wanted to be a Marine.
I got you. Like I said, I was born and raised in San Jose, California, but my parents are from Guatemala, so they were foreign as well. But yeah, it's just at the end of the day, it's just fucking go out there and get it. Get it. I mean, people are gonna disagree with you, agree with you. I think that's what makes life awesome. I think that's one thing I've learned. It'd be boring if all of us believe on the same thing. Some people go a little bit too extreme, but you just go out and do you, and that's that's pretty much as basic as I can get as far as that.
Yeah, let's not forget who we are, guys. Right? Listen, you go to other places. I spent some time in Guatemala. They love American culture. I'm of Chilean descent. I go to Chilean news. Look, there's people. I look at Chilean news in South America. They want to be like us. Everybody wants to be like us. Okay, they love our culture. Unfortunately, I think people abroad think that everybody drives a Lamborghini. We all know it. That's not what life is in America. I mean, there are people that have that. But regular Americans like myself and Humberto, I mean, we're just regular dudes, right? He's a family man. You got like what, 3 kids?
Two kids. Two
daughters.
I pulled up on John's camera.
I know, poor bastard. He's got 2 little girls. Jesus. I have one, and they're a lot of work. They're a lot of work. So, but yeah, guys. So don't take don't take it for granted, man. I'm telling you, we live in a great country. We're not perfect. Okay, we're not perfect, but come on, man. I mean, what do you think about this country?
Yeah, I think it's great. It's really a land of opportunity. It's land of the free. Like I said, like I'm not political, but I see the left and the right argue with each other. I'm not gonna I don't make fun of none of them, but the fact that they both got the right to argue, and just think about it. I mean, y'all are arguing, regularly. Like I said, I just sit and watch, and I don't judge. But the fact is, no one's getting hurt over it. No one's ever, unfortunately, just like any other group, people get, taken to the extreme. But at the same token, disagreeing is what makes it awesome, and not getting any repercussion. Like me, I'm against burning and stepping on the flag. Of course, I'll never do it and everything. But if someone does it, dude, if someone does it, yes, it hurts. But at the same token, that's what freedom is all about. You know what I'm saying? Because you do that in any other country, you get shot, you get hurt, whatever it is. But, it is right here. That's what a lot of people like to say,
Listen to me. If I find you, no, it's a beautiful thing. Listen, man, I never felt, we did a 9-day mission in Afghanistan, man. 9 days in the damn mountains, fucking just cold, man. Really, really cold. Like I really have an understanding of why people used to worship the sun. But man, we've been sucking ass for like 9 days. And we had this bird, like a little bird, going around. We called him Pest. That was his call sign. And he was going around the mountain. As a matter of fact, it's in that picture right there. And dude, that dude flew so low, we could see that the dude's foot, his feet, his entire body. And basically what he was doing is he was providing support at night. He's just flying around in a little bird. Well, he threw out a bag of sesame, seeds, some type of seeds. And I tell you what, man, I don't think I have ever felt more like an American than that, man. Just fucking, because I'm sure that guy was like, yeah, there's fucking poor bastards on that damn mountain. And I'm thinking, this guy's got fucking balls made out of bone balls because literally I can see his fucking legs, bro. Like he's flying by. Like those guys are nuts,
man. That's how the air wingers are, man. It's
yeah.
That door gun.
Hey, man. So if that doesn't make you proud to be a freaking American, man, I don't really know what. I mean, what, right? I mean, we're just awesome. Like, we're just so different. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Like, you're from Guatemala, I'm from Chile. Like,
my wife from Mexico, yeah.
Yeah, like
from I don't know, somewhere white.
Yeah, big old white, corn-fed looking.
Yeah, but then he's he lives in San Diego, so he knows the culture too, man. He's been pretty cool, and like I said, you miss a lot of people. I mean, you meet a lot of people, and it's just, dude, it's just like I said, it's nowhere else do you get that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, guys.
And not just that, they get to practice their religion, their beliefs, or whatever. Like I said.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, go out there and get it. I mean, that's all I can say.
So please, yeah, man. So just please appreciate it, if anything. I mean, that's why, if anything, I always get upset about that. It's like, dude, you guys just don't even get it, man. Like the type of oppression that I saw in Afghanistan is just like, I mean, I'm just so thankful to be an American. I'm so thankful. I'm so privileged. I feel, and like I told Brent, man, I have the finest people. All my heroes are all military guys, because some of the most, I mean, what do you think? Some of the most humble. I'm sure you met guys in the Marine Corps that were just like gods. I mean, tell us.
Yeah, they're awesome, man. Well, General Mattis, I had the privilege of serving on first tour with him. He was just amazing.
I knew this fucking jarhead would wear a fucking
Mattis. Mattis, General Mattis is just, geez. He was awesome, man. The biggest thing is, like, he said, like I said, stay humble, but one of the biggest saying he had when he had us in the group and he always talked, he was just so like, God always put some poor bastard in here to get shot. Yeah. I mean, that's just, he said that, I was like, dude, this is awesome. He just didn't care. But I guess, I appreciate it for your time, man. This was awesome, and I'm glad. I hope it goes more. And and I appreciate you having me. I'm glad we got this out there, and I hope take it for what it's worth, guys. I guess in closing, I just want to say, go out there and just explore jiu-jitsu, especially if you're a veteran. Go out there, man. It's good for you. Like I said, if you're in the Atlanta area, come check out Midtown. Professor Travin, Team Octopus down there. If you're in the Dallas area, check Rolling Panda.
What about you on social media?
Social media. If you're I'm Batdogh Jitsu at Instagram, look me up. Spelled BATDOUGH Jitsu on Instagram. Also, like I said, if you're in the Dallas area, Rolling Panda down there, Cartersville, check out Professor Jonathan Robinson at Team Octopus down there. There's a lot of good jiu-jitsu place around. Shout out to my Squid Squad on there. Thank you for being awesome. And then also, Makes Awesome Graphics. Check out Ground Pounder Graphics, man.
Yeah, that's our sponsor. Ground Pounder Graphics is our sponsor for the old. Dude, it's awesome. Check them out.
Yeah, and then also you got No Fake Ass Homies with Jesus Del Aesthetics. Check them out. You get your cool gear off of them. They're actually my sponsors as well. But I appreciate it, guys, and have a good one. And like I said, if anything, just go out there and get it.
Okay, so he said it. For all you jarheads out there that are getting out and want to do something, go talk to this fucking jarhead, and he'll tell you, how to do it.
I'll point you in the right direction.
Yeah. And like I said, man, if you guys have any issues, please let us know. Like, we're here we're doing this for the veteran community. We're doing it, and we're doing it for everybody. We're doing it for young men, but especially for the veteran community. I know there's a big problem right now with suicide, and whatever, man. I don't want you guys to have to resort to that. Okay, do jiu-jitsu, and I just want to close out. This is the longest podcast, man. We're right at 1:30. So we'll definitely have Humberto here again. We'll have all the guys, and we want everybody in the Atlanta community to share it, because we're gonna have a lot more guests. I think I have Rodney Wells.
Ronnie. I like little Ronnie.
I'm gonna have him, I think, either midweek or on the weekend. I'm trying to get 2 people a week, guys. So I'm definitely not gonna stop doing this. This is something that we're gonna do. And before we sign out, as I told Hamilton Brent, I personally want to thank Humberto for his service to our country, his sacrifice, And I know that sometimes it comes off a little corny. And when people say it to me, I feel uncomfortable about it. And I sometimes feel ashamed of it. But I really do mean it, man. To a grateful nation, we really appreciate your service, man.
Thank you too, and thank you for having me. I mean, seriously, thank you for what you're doing. I mean, I think it's legit awesome. Seriously.
All right, guys, you heard from the man himself. We're gonna do some more podcasts for the old breed. We're out. Goodbye.
See ya.
All right, guys, out. That was awesome, man. Thank you so much, man.
I had so much fun.
Dude, we're gonna do it again, man. Come on, we're gonna do it. Boom!
Where's your bathroom at?
Dude, here, bro. Hold on. You should tell me. No.